Hi everyone, going to do a short tutorial, QTP, quick tutorial and playthrough on Lion Sleeps Tonight. So the first thing we like to do, hopefully your ukulele is in tune, ready to go. We like to take a look at the chart, see what we're going to be dealing with. So let's take a look at the chords. We're going to notice that this is where we introduced a new chord. Up until now we've been playing the C to the G7 and back again to the C. Well, now we're introducing the F chord. F chord is the index finger on the second string, first fret. Remember, we count our strings just like a building: first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor. So we have that index on the second string, first fret. Second finger goes all the way up here to the fourth string on the second fret. So let's take a look at this movement. Right off the bat, we go from the C to the F. So let's look at that. We're going to be playing our C like this with our ring finger, or third finger on the first string, third fret. If you have the correct hand position and you're kind of relaxed and stuff, and remember it's just like picking up a ball, if you're playing this chord, the C, notice how this index finger is pretty much sitting right on top of that second string first fret. So you're going to want to put that down, release your ring finger, kind of roll your wrist up just a little bit out front to get that second finger all the way up to the fourth string, second fret. And again, the hand position is basically the same. It's more movement of your wrist kind of coming around like this than it is trying to reach for everything. So you go from the C, index finger drops, roll that wrist a bit, and there's your F. And then you'll notice that we're going to go back to the C. So we just reverse right back down to where we were. Now the next change goes from the C to the G7. Well, we've been making that in the last couple of songs that we've played, and back to C. So that's something to note about this song. You notice that there's an intro vamp. Remember, we said an intro could be, when you're vamping, it could either be one chord, two chords, three chords, whatever. This happens to use the chord progression of C to the F, C to the G7, and you could play that through as many times as you wanted to before you actually start the song. Now, an interesting thing about this song and why I choose it is because we're going to be using one strum pattern for a chord, then we're going to change to a new chord, one strum pattern, we're going to go back to a chord, one strum pattern, off to the next chord strum. So every strum pattern you're going to be changing. So the song is very good for getting you to go back and forth. So let's take a look at that movement. We're going from the C to the F. Going to rock back to the C to the G7. And we're going to repeat that. C to F, C to G7, and each one of those gets a strum pattern. Now you'll notice through the whole song, this pattern continues whether we're in the verse or the chorus, consistently is playing back and forth. Now another thing is for the speed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my metronome to get us started here. So I'm going to take my metronome, and I'm using metronome settings. If you ever, when you get a metronome, if you ever look at it, if it's something that you download onto your phone or if it's a digital metronome, you may be able to dial up any speed you want. But the original metronomes, they didn't have all the numbers in them. So we're going to dial up a tempo of 88. We're going to set that, and we're going to go through this pattern. So there's my metronome right there. And let's see if we can play this pattern. One strum for each chord. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. C. Make our move to the F. Back to C. G7. Back to C. To F. To G7. Okay, so that's at this tempo of 88. So you want to make sure you're comfortable there and you can make that change at 88. Now let's speed this up. The next jump we're going to go to is 96. So we're going to move all the way up to 96. So I'm going to move my metronome to 96, a little bit faster. And we're going to go through that same pattern. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. To the F, back to C, G7, C, F, back to C, and G7. Okay? Now when you're comfortable with there, that was at 96. We're going to go up to tempo 108, 108. So let's take it up to 108. Same pattern. We're just slowly speeding it up. And if you need to speed this up, you could play the song at any one of these tempos, but I'm going to actually play it at the tempo we want to get at, which is finally 116. So now we're all the way up to 108. And let's try this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. C, F, C to G7, and back to C, okay? So those would give you some kind of a reference point in how to speed something up. So now we're going to take it up to 116. This is the tempo we're actually going to play the song at, and we're going to put the drums in, and let's go through the song. Now the first beginning, we have that little vamp on the C, F, C, and G7. We'll probably play it twice. You could play it as many times as you wanted to, but we go through that pattern before we start. Then it starts with the D, 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 and what that is, we're singing the melody. D, 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 away. You might want to take that up. D, 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 away. Whatever is comfortable for you. Then we go into the chorus, which is the weem away. A weem away, a weem away, a weem away, a weem away, a weem away. Again, this pattern is continuous. C to F, C to G7. Finally, we get to the verse. All right, so let's get this started and let's play Lion Sleeps Tonight. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is the vamp. C, F, C into G7. Let's play that one more time. C, F, C, G7. And now here we go. Away. I'll repeat that. Away. And now to the chorus. A weem away, 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 a weem away. Oh, we repeat that. Away, a weem 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 away. Verse 1. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. And to the chorus, a weem away, 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 a weem away. And repeat that. Weem away, a weem away, a weem away, a weem away, a weem away. Second verse. Near the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Near the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps tonight. Hey, hey, a weem away, 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 a weem away. Third verse. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight. And back to the chorus. Hey, a weem away, 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 and we'll end on C. There you go. Lion Sleeps Tonight. Make sure to take those markings. You can either use the video here to set a tempo to kind of get you in it and just play back and forth. Again, those markings were 88, 96, 108, and finally up to 116, which is the tempo of the song. Enjoy.